Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This video is an update on the destruction of my front yard. Definitely hasn't been any construction yet. I've really just pulled things out and piled things up all over the place. About to turn the corner on this and actually start going the other direction and start planning on plantings and putting this sidewalk in and that kind of thing. This sidewalk's going to end up moving over this way about a foot. There's a lamp here that I don't know if it's in the shot or not, right here, that I'm actually gonna move to this side. I've never been able to come up with anything to grow on this little corner. It's so narrow. I've got this clematis vine that grows on the side of my porch here. I think I'm gonna put this lamp on this side, and then I'll train that clematis every year on both the rail and the lamp. When I pull this out, I had run my irrigation. I have irrigation in my turf out here. I had run irrigation under this sidewalk when I first moved in here, and electric. I'm gonna upgrade all that and then put drip irrigation in this bed and on this side as well. When I do this, the interesting thing about this sidewalk is the company that I'm buying the pavers from are actually not too far away from me. I'm a North Carolina certified landscape contractor. I don't do a lot of landscape installation anymore, but I need to maintain my license, and in order to do that, I have to take classes every year. Well, one of the people teaching classes this year happens to be the company that makes these pavers. They're doing a retaining wall class in November. So I'm going there, and I'm actually gonna be able to shoot some video. I got permission from them to shoot some video there on how these pavers are made. So maybe it'll be interesting, maybe it won't. But from there, I'm busting this sidewalk out and redoing this with a paver sidewalk. So that'll be a multi-part video series on how the pavers are made and then how I go about installing them. And then I'll have some retaining walls down along the end here where I have a little bit more slope. So that's pretty much the update on this space. I had shot the video on tearing these shrubs out. It's gonna be a little while before I start planting in this space right here because this sidewalk has to be removed, and then I'm gonna have a double layer here. I'm gonna have a little more depth to plant in, but I am gonna go ahead and start planning for it. While I have a good selection of plants at the garden center, I'm gonna shoot a video next week or the week after with maybe 5 or 10 different layouts we might be able to use in this space while I still have a great selection of plants to do that with. I've kind of already decided what I'm going to use, and I'll tell you that at the same time, but I'm going to lay out several different configurations that we could use in each of these spaces, and that way maybe one of those will be more appealing than what I'm actually going to use for you to use at your place. So Holly is out here supervising this video as always. I made some mixed pots out here, which is actually kind of funny. They're all very nice, and I put that video up a few days ago. Lots and lots of mixed pots out here, but it's in the middle of what I've done basically is demolition so far. So kind of a splash of color in the middle of chaos. I had piled up a lot of limbs on my turf right here, and it's killed it. I guess it's not really turf, it's just a weedy space. I am going to, for Maintenance Monday, be overseeding all of my turf with annual rye and fertilizing it at the same time. That'll be up next week. I'm actually going to convert my lawn entirely to centipede, and I will do that in the spring. Spring is the appropriate time to do that, but I am going to overseed it for now with annual rye and fertilize it so I have some nice turf for the winter. A decision I have made on this side, I had pruned these Indian hawthorns back very, very vigorously. They're already coming back out pretty quickly. I am just going to remove these. There are nicer plants that I can definitely put into this space, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this opportunity. The new sidewalk will end up maybe somewhere right in here, and that's enough room to actually have 2 pieces here rather than just these really, really super wide Indian hawthorn. So I am going to change those out. Another thing I'm going to do, when these burning bush go dormant, I'm going to take the back 2 or 3 out. The entire purpose of these burning bush was to buffer cars riding by on the street here from my side yard. These front 3 or 4 are totally adequate to do that. This one and the one behind it, and possibly even that one right there, are just taking up lots of space and really not doing anything for me, blocking my view of my wooded space. Over here is just absolute chaos. I have been piling up everything in this space. I have chipped a lot of it. There's a pile of chips here. I'm going to convert this space right here into a back to Eden garden. This is all going to be wood chips. So everything I pull out of my yard through the entire winter, I'm going to keep chipping them into this space and build up these chips over the winter, and then work on that back to Eden Garden over the course of the spring. On this west side of my house here, I have some Gulfstream Nandinas that have served me quite well for about 20 years. I'm going to be replacing these in a video next week. There will be some planting going on, and I'm going to shoot that video the first of next week. You'll see it, and the reason that I'm choosing what I'm choosing to go back in this space. That should be a halfway interesting video. One area that I didn't include in my original tour video was back here. There was a swimming pool here when my son was much smaller that I took out. I've actually used it as a burn pile for a while right there. I had built this little retaining wall, and the pool sat right in that space right there. Since this is already compacted, already got sand on it, it's already completely ready to go. I'm going to turn this into a paver patio. And my question to you guys will be, when this comes up, I don't know whether right here in the middle I'm going to have a fire pit, or on the back side right there am I going to build a big fireplace right in that space right there. That'll be a decision I make at the time I start on this patio. It's pretty far out in the future at this point. This is on the east side of my property here. Yesterday I put up this video prepping this space for pansies and bulbs, which I'll get the pansies in next week. This oak that's right here, it has that split in it. I believe in the first video I talked about the fact that I'm going to take it out. I got to do that sooner than later. I'm going to wait for it to go dormant. It'll be easier to take out once the leaves fall off of it, but it's a pretty good sized tree. And then that golden rain tree has to be pruned back very vigorously. I'm going to irrigate this entire side over here and then do my white garden in this space. That was the first piece of that job yesterday. I had talked about taking this play set out right here and putting in some sort of shop or building back there, which I still plan on doing. These compacta hollies right here are going to be removed. They've got to go. Really no point in them. I believe I brought them home from a landscape job one time, and that's the spot that they ended up, and they're in too much shade. They don't look particularly great. My purple leaf plum back here in my backyard has really suffered this summer. Should come into view as I walk a little closer to it here. It's got all kinds of vertical branching on it. I'm going to shoot a video about this. You'll see this a lot of time in fruit trees where you get this vertical branching in them, and all of that needs to be cleaned up. And I'd really like to get up very high in this thing and maybe take it down 20% or 25% in height anyway. So like I said, all I've done so far is just destroy things. I haven't really started putting anything back together, but I'm really going to turn the corner on that. I'll have that side yard planting installation next week. I'll be putting in some rye, and there I'll be putting in some pansies over there. So hopefully this thing will start moving forward. And like I say, I don't think I'm going to get to this planting here until after the sidewalk is in, and that may be the middle of November before I get to that. So I will go ahead and shoot a video just with design ideas for these spaces and do some different layouts, maybe for different zones. And that way, you know, if you're looking to do some planting at your house, maybe those ideas will help you out. So anyway, thank you for watching my video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for these future videos.